Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video, we're talking about Gamescom, FPGA, Nintendo Switch, and more. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about Gamescom, and just like the Video Game Awards, someone snuck up on stage and mentioned Bill Clinton. This time is a little bit different. I'll drop a link to the video in the description below in the event that you wanted to check it out. But basically, someone wearing a Stone Cold Steve Austin sweatshirt says that Bill Clinton wants GTA 6. Next up, we're talking about Windows emulation on Android with Winlator, and it appears that Winlator has taken the emulation on Android subreddit by storm. It's very popular. So if you're curious about Winlator or emulation on Android in general, I'll drop a link to Reddit emulation on Android in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. There's a lot of interesting posts here. Someone has The Sims 3 up and running on Winlator. Someone has Guild Wars 1 up and running on Winlator. And someone has Halo CD up and running on Box 86. And speaking about links in the description below, next up here I'm going to be linking a whole bunch of stuff in the description below, and it's a lot of stuff that was showcased over at Gamescom. The first thing here is actual gameplay from Alan Wake 2, which is set to release on October 27th. Panic, the company behind Untitled Goose Game, has unveiled a brand new game here called Thank Goodness You're Here, releasing in 2024. It's a comedy game of sorts, and it will be releasing on Steam. I'll drop a link to the trailer and Steam in the description below. Marvel's Snap, a mobile comic game, is now available on Steam. Interestingly enough, this game has just released on Steam, and it's already got close to 20,000 reviews. It seems to be extremely popular. If you've played this one on Steam, let me know in the comments below. Bamco has announced Little Nightmares 3 for PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC, releasing in 2024. Bungie has unveiled The Final Shape, which is an expansion for Destiny 2, and it concludes the Light and Darkness saga, releasing at the end of February next year. There was a development update for Hyperlight Breaker, which is a 3D sequel to Hyperlight Drifter, an amazing game if you haven't checked it out already. Anyways, here the early access has been delayed until 2024, which I am absolutely okay with. I am still enjoying Hyperlight Drifter. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Next up, we're talking about Atari, and the Atari 2600 Plus was revealed today, which is a brand new take on the original 2600. It's retailing for about $130 overall. It works with physical cartridges and has HDMI output. Interestingly enough, it's compatible with both 2600 and 7800 cartridges. The 2600 Plus is set to release on November 17th. I think these paddles will set you back about $40, and the individual games will set you back about $30 each. And I'm not quite sure on how I feel about this one yet. On one hand, I already have an Atari 2600, so I don't really need this new one. But on the other hand, the new one does have HDMI outbaked right into it. And I'm not certain or not if it's going to be emulation, and if it is, what emulator are they using? Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Next up, we're quickly talking about the Steam Deck, and Sniper Elite 5 got a brand new update here that makes it listed as playable on the Steam Deck. And speaking about playable, next up we're talking about something that's not playable just yet, but will be at some point in the future. Half-Life 2 is getting an unofficial mod here called Half-Life 2 RTX, and it's being sanctioned by NVIDIA. The kicker here is that this is a fan-made project per se. It's a community-driven effort, and I don't know if anyone's being paid for this or not, but at the same time it looks absolutely incredible. If you know anything about modding, you may want to get in touch with the NVIDIA folks. I mean, this has a lot of potential and something I am really looking forward to. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Next up, we're talking about a brand new type of FPGA that's being teased right now called Mars FPGA. Unfortunately, details at this time are still pretty scarce, but it will be using a TI 180 instead of a DE10 Nano, so it'll arguably be a little bit more powerful. As for what this thing can do, people are asking, can it do PS2? And the answer is, I have no idea. Someone would have to code a PS2 FPGA even to try it out, and that's not going to happen for at least a really long time, unless someone's secretly working on one, which I don't see happening. And in terms of compatibility here, I have no idea if this is compatible with all of the software already for the Mister, or if it's not and new stuff is going to have to be developed. I've got more questions than answers here, but this is still interesting. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. And last up here, we're talking about Yuzu, and today Yuzu got a number of different updates. The first one here, mainline 1532, allows you to take screenshots in aspect ratios other than 16:9. Like the first update, this has been sitting in early access for a while and now has been rolled over to the mainline build and is amazing for game compatibility. So mainline 1534 adds support for dumps with prepended key area. It fixes loading for some XCI game dumps, and it expands support for NCA reading. It adds support for compressed or sparse NCA games, so various digital games are now bootable, for example Splatoon 3, Sonic Colors Ultimate, Chrono Cross, Gunvolt Chronicles, MLB The Show 23, and more. And the last update here was for early access, and it's early access 3830, and if you're into modding, you may be interested in this update. So first, it fixes Super Mario 3D All-Stars update that wasn't being applied correctly. And secondly here, it fixes Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Skyline, and Acropolis modding support. Yuzu now supports some Smash Bros. Modding such as asset replacement mods like character alternate skins, images, and more. It's worth pointing out that this is still early access and there may be some bugs and glitches as they get everything ironed out. They say here that mods that require the Tesla menu are still incompatible, and the Mob Smash in-game mode crash is still under investigation. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.